live, Dave. We're live. So, oh wait, Alan, do your thing.
Yeah, it's loading.
Even ready?
They're all no. I wasn't ready. I didn't know you were hitting record.
Okay. Pretend we're just starting. Get ready? Here we go.
I don't want to rate it.
Are you ready?
No, I'm not ready. It's asking me to rate the. Forget it.
High quality content for the internet. Yeah. Wow. Hey, everybody. I'm Bobo the Clown. You ready now?
All right.
We're all here again. Locke's here. He's back.
Hello.
Last week it was just myself and Alan, and we talked about beer and stuff. So today it's episode 197. We're getting close to the 200. We've been doing this for a long time. We're total professionals. We're always prepared, and Dave knows how to use technology. So that said, what beer are we talking about today? Now, we're going all the way past the Okanagan, where a lot of breweries are, and we're leaving the Lower Mainland for the wilds of where, Alan?
Fernie, British Columbia, which is apparently really close to Castlegar.
It's that way.
It's east.
It's that way. So the beer that we chose today is called the Single Speed Belgian Style Blonde by Fernie Brewing Co. Now, it's dry hopped, which I want to point out excited me when Alan sent the links to get it. So we're gonna bring.
So while you're opening it, let me just read a little bit about it. This is a limited release. It's available from April through September from Fernie Brewing.
Sorry.
It's dry hopped with lemon drop and mandarina Bavaria. Our single speed Belgian style blonde ale is the perfect way to get your fixie. An easy drinking Belgian style blonde ale, dry hopped with lemon drop and give it a refreshingly citrus finish. This brew uses the same yeast as our Belgian style triple with light malt and few hops added during the brewing. A small addition of cardamom gives a subtle complementary flavor to the yeast. That's it. That's what it says.
Well,
so what is the alcohol content? Oh, it's only coming in at 4.8%. So it's a nice light beer.
Saison, yeah. So
great for patios.
We're talking great depth about the single speed Belgian style blonde. We have an interloper beer this week because Dave, I don't know what happened. Dave lost his mind, had a stroke. And so what did you pick up, Dave?
I actually didn't pick anything up. I got this.
The concentration.
What, did somebody throw it at you?
It's astounding. It's like, does your handshake?
Well, this has got a hell of a head on it. Look at this.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my God.
But you still haven't told us what it is.
Explains the concentration.
Yeah, so the question of the day, it's a...
Actually, what is it? It's in French.
It looks like beer. It's bottle shaped.
You know, if this was a sitcom, Dave would need to have like some sort of like a catchphrase or something. He would be like the most popular person on the sitcom. You know, he'd be like the Fonzie or the Urkel or something like that.
Anyway, the beer that Dave has is from Quebec.
Shit.
And it is from the brewery called
Unibrew.
There you go. And it's the
This is the Blanche de Chambly.
There you go.
Finally. There we go.
Blink.
Which is, at least in its way, a little bit comparable to this, because Blanche is kind of a Belgian style. And
yes.
So it's got a very sort of light color to it. And it's very aromatic.
Very aromatic.
Oh,
nice foamy head.
You can really get the hit of the hop right off the bat, which is really nice. But it's not killing the flavor of the rest of everything Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm.
Mm,
I like
this is
beer.
really tasty.
Beer is good for you. Drink the beer. That's
Wow.
really nice. The lacing is very apparent, which I like.
It doesn't stay on the side of the glass for very long, though. It kind
That's
of
gorgeous.
it disappears very
Lays
quickly.
out with the glass. Look at that. It's amazing.
Well, okay, so maybe you're having a little bit better luck than me.
We actually are
Okay.
using wine glasses because I was too lazy to get more other ones. But what's going on, boys? Dave, tell us about your adventures of late. Anything of note? Mainly because you did some traveling recently.
I did.
And you went on adventures that I really want you to give us an amazing amount of detail. Talk for at least 20 minutes.
Well, I can maybe cough up a storm for 20 minutes. Yes, Shane is referring to my trip to Victoria that I had last week.
Mhm.
which
And
is
you came
pretty
and
cool.
visited me.
I came and visited. Yeah, totally.
Nice.
You know, I never heard from him. What a guy.
I was there with my lady.
Ah,
Which prevents you from visiting your friends. I know it's terrible.
Yes,
Mm.
I don't
It's
have.
okay. It's okay, Alan. He was in Vancouver recently, and he didn't see me either. So there you go.
Okay. There we go.
But the one of the big things that I'm hoping to learn from your adventure in Victoria is that you are planning on relocating there, and was that discussed? Did that happen? Not the whole thing.
It would. Well, did it happen? No, it was discussed. Yes, it was discussed.
And
well, there's.
we're talking timeline here. This is what I'm going for here.
Oh, timelines. Okay.
Are you talking like this is like a 2-year plan? This is like
No, hell no.
if we're not living there by next week, like what?
I think we're squishing something sort of comfortably in the middle there.
Okay, all right. So
I mean,
basically,
I would like to see this happen
and-
within the next handful of months, less.
Okay.
I went to a very cool VR arcade out in Langford.
Oh.
Yeah. The guy,
Langford's still there. It hasn't slid into the ocean yet.
it's called Flynn's. Interesting choice.
I've actually heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It sounds cool.
he's just kind of building it, literally. So he has 2 systems. That's it. He's building a third, he told me. And the games, we tried one game because we didn't have a whole ton of time. I didn't realize how busy the guy was. So we popped in and he's like, yeah, I can give you 40 minutes because I have somebody booked. Anyways, so he was cool about it. And he was super helpful too the whole time. I give two big thumbs up for Flynn's. So Alan, it's worth checking out if you're curious. It's $28 for an hour. We played because he said, okay, have you guys ever done this shit before? And we said, no. So he said, okay, here's this space station game you can play that's only mildly disorienting and is reasonable for first timers. Because you can do, like, there's a couple of flight sims. You can fly dragons, you can hang glide. And he said, yeah, that kind of stuff, not so good for a newbie because you may or may not struggle. So, okay. We did the space station game and it was freaking rad.
So if you made it all the way out to Langley, my other question here is a follow-up to that. Knowing that Beer Fest is coming up in September, we're pretty sure that you bought tickets while you were in Victoria. Is that correct?
Sure.
Locke has his ticket, and he'll be in Toronto.
Seriously? You're actually going to come back from Toronto for that?
Oh, yeah. He's got it all planned out.
I might.
Just go with this on. Go with
Okay. Not as good as a wink to a blind bat, eh?
But yeah, no,
All
because
right,
all of us have bought tickets now. So just checking in, making sure you got yours.
Well, if Locke's going, I'm in, because at least I know I'll get some intelligent conversation.
Nice.
Oh, burn!
Kaboom.
Give him some calamine lotion. Ouch!
You have to come down.
No.
Let me
I'm
work on it.
kidding, of course.
Well played, Dave. Well played.
But have you at least considered it, Locke? Is it just like, no, it's stupid. I'm going to be out east.
No. I've totally considered it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
I gotta
say,
see what my, what my.
his first year of law school a couple of years ago, he actually
I did.
was in Portland, and he said, I think you called like a day or two before.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
said, are there tickets left? And I said, yeah, they're still selling. And he said, great, I'll be there. And he got on a bus, and he got all the way to Victoria from Portland, Oregon, Dave. And he arrived.
Seaplane from Vancouver.
Yeah.
I flew
Oh, geez.
to Victoria on a seaplane.
That's an investment. I mean,
That is an investment.
Yeah.
But he got there. Just pointing that out, Dave. Just pointing it out. Hey, you know what? As a matter of fact, Dave, I do have your girlfriend's phone number. I'm gonna have to call her.
They have more breweries this year too, don't they?
They have
way more.
Oh, it's
98,
ridiculous this year.
I think.
Just south of 100.
And here's the
And
thing.
in previous years, they have like maxed out like mid 60s. So it's considerably bigger this year.
I also
And this year, there's breweries from right across the entire country. So it is truly the Great Canadian Beer Festival.
Excuse me. What were you gonna say, Locke?
I was going to say I need to replace my Great Canadian Beer Festival hat because I donated it to the bartender at my regular haunt in Portland.
Oh.
I was on my way out and I thought, he needs a quality going away gift, and I thought that is the one because he serves great beer.
What brewery?
So all kinds of breweries. You see, this is the thing. Like craft beer is totally normal in Portland. You do not get bars that just serve like Bud Light or whatever.
Why would anyone do that?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, actually, because Bud Light would pay them to do that. That's how that kind of thing works. But most recently, I tried something utterly bizarre there. They had a fruit beer. I'm trying to think. I think it was Left Hand Brewery. Made some sort of raspberry kind of thing, and it was on nitro. So it was like sort of foamy, sort of smooth, kind of like a Boddington's, but with a sort of a tangy sort of raspberry thing going on.
Weird.
Yeah, really unusual.
Now let me ask you something, Locke. Do they have like a beer fest down in Portland? I'm imagining that they do
multiple beer fests down in
Portland.
Do
they?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do.
So have you attended any of these events?
Yes.
Now, how do they stack up with our beer fest? I'm going to imagine it's...
No. The Great Canadian Beer Fest is a little different, and it's something sort of that I couldn't see that happening in Portland somehow. The thing with Portland is I think the different festivals are kind of competing with each other. So right. Because of that, nobody has the critical mass to bring something like that together. Victoria, it's a big field, and they fill the place with tents, and a massive crowd spends 2 days going through them and trying all kinds of wild and wonderful, brewing experiments and brewing successes, and occasionally brewing failures.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I was thinking it would be kind of fun to go to a beer fest in Portland, but only if there's sort of like this, like this huge one that's kind of like the pinnacle of. No.
So what it is, you'll get. So in the Pearl District, they have one, and that's sort of probably the sort of the big hitter because it's a district that features both Deschutes and Rogue Brewery as sort of one of the, two of the sort of kingpins of
Right.
The old guard of Portland brewing. Yeah, the thing with Portland is it's such a part of what people do there that I think in some ways for Portlanders they kind of go blind to it. It's sort of invisible to them. They don't want to have a single event to celebrate brewing because it's something that's going on all the time. So anyway,
right. Okay, fair enough.
So what about you, Dave? Would you be able to make it down to a beer fest in Portland?
Oh, hey, it's always possible.
Always so non-committal.
Well, why would I say no? Why would I say yes?
I don't know.
Wow, the Peanut Gallery had an opinion about Dave's lack of ability to get to Victoria. We won't say it out loud what she said.
All right, moving on.
Yes, you actually had some stuff you wanted to talk about.
I did.
You did. You told me. Remember that secret conversation that we had only in my head?
Yes. Yes. Oh, hey. So, okay. So we're nerds. Well, maybe not Locke, but the rest of us are nerds.
Nerd.
Yeah, you're being a bit of a nerd. Okay. So
I'm a nerd.
The trailer for the Star Trek Picard dropped.
Mm-hmm. I showed it to him just this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, well, the man's got great taste in haircuts.
So it looks really good. Like I'm kind of shocked. I'm even more shocked that Brent Spiner has some sort of a role in it as maybe not Data, but maybe as B4 or something like that, or maybe like a holodeck Data or something like that.
I actually just watched about an hour ago. I watched a Comic-Con mini panel that had a bunch of those actors from the show on it, and Spiner was there, and he did say, without trying to spoil anything, that he thinks that B4 is in the drawer, but Data does appear not in every episode, but he appears often in this season. So
I have a feeling he's sort of like a holodeck kind of character.
It's entirely possible. Also, he has a they confirm that that Troy and Riker are in it.
Yeah.
Frakes is also directing, I gather, a couple of the episodes.
Why can't they bring back Yara? Come on.
She's died twice. Actually, I don't know. Did her Romulan version
No, I don't think so.
Is she still around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure
that could happen because I gather he's working on the vineyard with two Romulans. We're on the estate, the Picard, whatever, so that's what they said in this talk. He's like, no, he's there. He's where he has two Romulans working for him. So I don't know what that means, if that's even correct, but the scary thing, I think, here's what I think the story is doing. I think that that female character that shows up is a new type of Borg. Essentially, I think you said an infiltrator Borg or something like that.
Yeah.
So like
a T-1000.
A T-1000, essentially, yeah. So that they look human, they don't look Borg. And then, of course, with 7 of 9 showing up, I seem to remember that part of the 7 of 9 story is that once she returned to Earth, she decided to go and try and collect Borg together to try and make them more human like her. And break them from the hive mind if they hadn't already. So So I think I don't know. It's going to be interesting because the year is 2399, so it's the final year of the 24th century. So
Yes.
they're on the cusp of the 25th. So I think that's kind of interesting.
I have to say the most enjoyable part for me is seeing in the cast that Alison Pill is involved. Fine Canadian actress who is pretty damn hot.
I was just going to say Alan seems to be getting a little flush. You okay? You okay, Alan? Alison Pill's the show. Alison Pill's actually a really good actress.
She is.
In the simple fact that she was in the show The Newsroom, which I thought was I think it was very trying for a lot of people because it's an Alan Sorkin thing, and I gather it's hard to do that kind of show because it's not necessarily light dialogue. It's very much heavy information in a lot of the dialogue. So, and I also it wasn't the West Wing was like the invention of the walk and talk, or at least the extension of it to be longer shots, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. What else is she in? She was also in that Ontario filmed.
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim, yeah. So she was in that.
What did she play in that?
She played the drummer in the band.
Okay.
And she was awesome in that. I mean, her role, the dryness behind the character was perfect. If you haven't watched the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I highly recommend it.
You get to see America's ass.
Yeah, it's fun.
Before he becomes America's ass. Of course.
Actually, it's amazing how many like superhero characters are in it.
That's true because 2006 Superman, Ruth. I don't know. How do you say his name?
Brandon
Routh. That's right.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, he was in it as the vegan terrorists or something or whatever they were called.
Yeah. So the guy that played Captain America and Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, is also
That's right. She was in it too.
Oh wow.
So was who was that character? There's a show on right now called I think Good Girls, where it's three women get together and basically start to run a life of crime. The sister of the redhead Yosef Bridge from Firefly is in it. Anyway, so she was in the youngest actress in that show was in that as well in Scott Pilgrim. As the girl with like the weird face paint, and she beat up Scott for a while because people.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Kodak or whatever her name was.
I can't remember either.
But there's also sorry. Speaking of movie actors, we all have to raise our glass. Hopefully, we still have beer in it. To Rutger Hauer, who passed away today. Which we hope he sees a few things burning off of the depths of space.
He wasn't that old.
75.
I want more life, fucker.
I gather they didn't, as far as I can tell, they didn't say anything about why he died, or sorry, what killed him. But I did notice that it just in one article it said after a brief illness. So probably one of those situations where it's like, hey, you have cancer and you have 3 days to live. So it was probably something along those lines.
Yeah, maybe.
Because a film just came out that he's in.
Really?
I saw the trailer for it either yesterday or the day before. But yeah, it's a film that and I don't think his role is that extensive, but it's definitely. But an article I just noticed here in my beer feed.
You have a beer feed?
Yeah. The Budweiser beer empire was built on debt, and now it's racing to pay it off. Wow. Interesting.
I don't know how much they're racing to pay it off because I can't see Budweiser going out of business anytime soon.
Sorry, say that again. I had some autoplay video going.
I mean, it may have been founded on debt, but I don't know how much they're racing to pay it off. Let's face it, it's Budweiser. It's not going away anytime soon.
InBev been forced to attack the mountain of debt by raising money to balance everything out. It cut its dividend in half and unloaded its Australian business for $11.3 billion. And
Poor things.
is now exploring an IPO for its Asia Pacific division.
I really feel for them.
Look, you've just gone to law school.
I would wonder what they think is going on with interest rates, because they, I mean, why would you be cutting debt unless you thought that interest rates were about to go up?
Yeah, that's true. Part of the problem is the craft beer problem. InBev's debt paydown was slowed in part by continuing problems in the United States. Their market share has been constantly eroding for the past 10 years. During the first quarter of this year, its light and value brands lost another percentage point of market share and remains under pressure as consumers move to higher priced beer. And so I guess they're blaming the home brewers and the craft brewing. So hey, our numbers are going to soar. People are going to flock information, pearls of wisdom that fall from our lips every single week.
Maybe we'll get 24 viewers.
Oh, let's not be hasty, Alan.
We gotta break 4. I mean, 4. We gotta get to 4 viewers now, man.
Oh, speaking of which, there's a new channel on YouTube called the Crafty Boys.
What?
But with no space between the and Crafty.
Really?
Yeah.
Who are these interlopers?
They're a bunch of teenage delinquents.
Okay, explain.
I can't tell what kind of craftiness they do. It seems like they just swear a lot and use the N-word.
Okay, then I won't play that intro video. The intro to the Crafty Boys. Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen.
Lawyers.
Yeah, we gotta lawyer up now. I gotta go after. I mean, the Crafty girls. We're building our case.
We might have an in there, boys.
Lock some glitter. We better start making beer slime.
Oh, and one last thing. So we did mention the T1000 earlier when we were talking about Picard. It was announced that for the upcoming Terminator movie, which James Cameron is a part of. James Cameron,
his non-union brother.
Mexican counterpart.
I'm a director for hire. So what about James Cameron?
Announced that what's his face is coming back.
Schwarzenegger?
No. To play John Connor. Edward Furlong. Thank you. In the next Terminator movies. This is the one that takes place after Terminator 2 and ignores all the ones that have come since.
Which I think is wise.
Yes.
Yeah, because how low do you have to sink when you are a powerful killing machine that is intent on completing its mission by destroying all that stands between it and its target, and you get pulled over by the police, and you therefore increase your breast size.
Oh yeah.
Right. Terminator 3: The Rise of the Machines. There's a scene where the big villain has just arrived, and they're like, and she's some sort of special liquid metal, similar to the Terminator guy, I think, in the trailer for the new movie.
She was kind of like a double. She was like, she had mechanical stuff like a T800, but she was also liquid metal like a T1000.
So I think she goes to steal a car. Or she's stolen a car. I forgot. She's in a car, and she gets pulled over by the police. And the cop walks up. He's like, "Hey, lady, you were running a stop sign or whatever." But as he's walking up to the police car, she sort of looks at him and then looks back, and then her chest inflates. And I'm just like, you're not a like some sort of special human being that's got some weird powers. You're a Terminator that could turn around, make your arm into that thing, and like incinerate the guy, and then just move on. I don't know. That's where the movie lost it for me, because I thought, why? Just why?
All right. No, I mean, you could ask yourself that question throughout that entire movie, but
probably not. No, but it was 2003 or something. So
okay, so we never. Let's get our final words on the Fernie single speed
final words
here.
on Fernie's single.
I'm really enjoying this.
Belgian style blonde, dry hopped.
This is a really good patio beer if you're like at a barbecue or something like that. This should almost be available in cans, I think, though. This is sort of like
rating the beers on a patio scale.
Well, this should be like in cans, where you can open one, knock it back, and then grab another one. If it's going to be something like that, that's like a session beer, it's got to be in cans.
Has anybody had saison out of a can?
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Sure, I have.
Style of beer, I can't think of one.
Well, Hop Therapy from Russell, when it was out, that was available in 6-packs in a can. Trying to think something else.
Who made Triceratops or Tricerahops?
Can't remember.
Tricerahops was.
I had it last night and I'd forgotten. Oh, wait a minute. I still have the can.
I want to say Parallel 49, but I don't know that for sure.
Proper. It might have been. Yeah, actually. Parallel 49.
I'm pretty sure it's Parallel 49.
Yeah.
Yeah, I but on that note, everybody, we will call it there because Dave's looking tired and he's asleep, and we hate it when he snores on the stream. So, thanks for jumping in, Dave. So anyway, next week, Locke, you're still here.
Maybe still.
Maybe still here. I can't remember what day you're leaving, but whatever. But otherwise, we'll see you all next week at some point with some beer that we have already chosen and already picked up. So except for Dave. Dave, it's the other one in the thing that you never mind. Anyway, as always, make sure you are telling people about the show. Do all the stuff with the following and the bell ringing and all that kind of junk. But always know you'll be bored out of your mind or entertained out of your pants every week in the evenings while we drink beer and talk about stuff. And as always, Alan, take us out. I don't know how to end this thing.